Melissa, thanks for joining us. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what it's like to be the Fast ForWord facilitator at your school.
For me, it's really, really important greeting the children every morning and making them feel really, really welcome. These children have often struggled with their learning. Well, they have struggled with their learning. And so my role in the morning is, it's quite, initially it was very, very hands-on, like listening and watching with the children and helping them because they did find it very, very hard. And now my role has changed more to like I sit and listen and watch the kids for a little bit of the time, and the rest of the time I look at the data and see where the children are having problems, and we talk about it with them about what they're finding hard. We talk about strategies for coping with what they're finding hard and things that could try that are a little bit different.
How have you seen the changes starting to come out in the students themselves?
For me, it's actually quite. I don't see the children in the rest of the day. I see them for an hour in the morning when they do the program. And the changes I've noticed is when they first started the program, they were actually quite needy. They had quite high avoidance to task tendencies. You know, if they were finding something hard, they'd start fidgeting, they'd be asking for my help all the time, they'd try and interact with the other children, or they'd just sit there and daydream. And I've found over the time their attention span and their ability to stay focused on a task has increased probably by about 80 or 90%. So when they sit down to a game, they're actually, if it's programmed for 10 minutes, they'll actually be focused on that game for the full 10 minutes, as opposed to when they first started, the first 1 or 2 minutes were okay, and then they'd be sort of thinking, oh, okay, I've had enough, and, you know, Mrs. Williams, can you come and help me? I can't hear it properly, or, you know, they'd just sit there and I'd think, oh, what are you doing? Yeah, so I've just found that whole focus, attention, and actually listening. They're really, really good at listening now. They'll listen to instructions and be able to carry, instead of just one instruction, they'll be able to keep 3 or 4 instructions and follow through the sequence with those, which is a huge skill that you need in a classroom, because often you only get one you don't get one instruction. You'll get 3 or 4 instructions from a teacher to complete a task. So for me, that's a huge benefit for them when they go back to the class.
Can you tell me what's involved in actually managing the program when you're with the students?
So when I'm with the students, we've had a few technical glitches, you know, where the computer will bump them off and things like that. So you need to be quite, you don't need to be really, really good with computers, but you actually need to know how to manage a computer, how to deal with things like the sound and things, because it's in a computer suite. Often other children have been in and they've played with all the settings, so the kids will come in to use the computer and the settings and things won't work. So you need an adult there for that. I think also for any queries they have, and I think it's really reassuring for the children, well, I feel it is, if they have an adult who's interested in what they're doing. So it's not like a sit down and do program by yourself like they might do a maths game in the classroom. It's actually quite hands-on, and they really enjoy it when they get someone coming listening to what they're doing. Or if they're constantly failing at something, having trouble with something, for you to sit and talk to them and work with them, you know, even give them a few prompts and a few keys. So that's what I see the main job as a facilitator. It's also checking the data and, as I said earlier, working out perhaps why they're having a problem. What I found with a few of the children, it was actually using the mouse was a problem for them, and once they moved to the keyboard, they weren't so focused on the mouse, and it made things a lot easier for them. So it's just getting to know the children and knowing, you know, are they trying to avoid something because they don't want to do it, or are they genuinely having a problem that they need help with? So that's been really interesting, and I like the fact that we've had a small group and that I've been there the whole time with them.
I'm getting a really positive vibe from you in terms of running the whole program. You must really enjoy it.
I do. It's been really, really exciting with the kids, and I feel like these 5 children I've got a really close bond with now, and they were always excited to come because they were coming to school half an hour earlier than everyone else, and the kids, they started racing to see who would sit next to me on the computer. So I was having kids turn up at 8:15, you know, and sort of they're beating me in the door. So for me, that was a really positive thing, and to see, as I said, just to see how much more their attention span had grown, because that's a huge thing, and just yeah, just really, really positive, and they seem to be a lot happier at the end of it. you know, oh, I can do this, and then they're all comparing scores with each other, and I got to 300 today, and you know, I beat my high score, and you know, so it's really, really nice. It's a nice experience. Yeah.
So looking forward to next year, no doubt.
Oh, I am. I'm really looking forward to next year, and we're going to be controlling our data, so that's going to be another learning curve for us. But it's going to be really exciting because we're going to have 3 different groups of children through the year, and we're also going to have the opportunity to put 2 of our children back on and give them another boost that we did this year. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
Well, Melissa, that sounds like a really good news story. Thanks very much for your time this morning.
Okay, thank you very much.